skill, integrity, and responsibility. SIR Award winners are the men, women, and organizations who have made outstanding contributions to our community, our state, our quality of life, and the construction industry. Originating with the Nevada chapter in 1967, the SIR Award has been adopted by AGC chapters nationwide, including the national office in Washington, D.C. Past award winners include educators, humanitarians, construction leaders, and many other unsung heroes. Tonight's award winners will join that prestigious list, including the 2022 winners Dave Backman, Brian Hartman, and Larry Johnson. And now, the SIR Awards. Volunteer, mentor, civic leader. Some might say a professional driver.
Very good communicator. If he gives you his word, you can go to the bank on it.
He's about the most loyal friend you could ask for.
He's very encouraging and positive.
He's just no-nonsense guy.
He's just a special person. He's just a very good friend of mine.
This SIR Award winner knows business on a personal level and knows how to have fun. His carefree personality developed during his formative years growing up in a small rural community he still keeps close ties with.
Stan has a very interesting background. Grew up in Colusa, California, small town, roots. I think that served him well.
Stan's dad used to bring Stan and his brother Greg over duck hunting at our place.
He's got some very, very good trophies with his bow. It's pretty impressive.
Later I started hunting with his brother Greg. Stan joined us one year, and then that was back in the 80s, and we've been hunting together every year since then.
He liked his cars. Liked hunting, and they liked creating mischief in a small town.
Mischief was his middle name. In fact, he was cited by the California Highway Patrol as the
worst driver in California.
Dan started out in his high school days, and after high school, he had a pretty fast car and he liked to drive fast.
I remembered a story in the paper about a sailor who had a couple of extra alcoholic beverages and drove his car off into the ocean. We still have the gear shift in our office right as you walk in, and of him and his arm brace from football.
He attended 2 community colleges in Northern California, then decided to join the Navy upon receiving his draft notice. He completed 2 honorable tours on the USS Brenner. His ship was one of the first to travel into North Vietnam waters during the conflict.
He was full of vim and vigor when he left Colusa here, and he went into the Navy, probably taught him a lot of discipline.
Very proud of his military service.
I think it shaped his life quite a bit. It gave him focus.
Stan's very, very proud veteran.
The Navy really taught him responsibility. He was in some pretty serious situations at times, and I think it really made a difference in him.
He grew up from being a wild kid like we all were in one point of time in our lives to being focused.
Stan and I both got out of the Navy in about 1969.
Stan meets his future wife Heidi on sort of a reluctant blind date in 1989. And one might say the rest is history. They are a remarkable couple and have been married for over 30 years.
He and his wife Heidi put on their class reunions every year. They host them, and his class is very close, and Stan is very active in that.
Him and Heidi are probably the perfect match for each other.
Happily married, do a lot of things together, snowshoe together, stay active together.
When you need something, Stan and Heidi are probably the first ones on the scene to help.
Just support one another. It's the admiration to see in a marriage.
Stan went to work for Shell Oil, eventually owning several stations and being recognized as one of the top 6 Shell dealers in the nation.
Stan owned, in the past, 3 Shell service stations.
Number 3 son, Craig. His first job when he was about 13 was working at Stan's service station. And he was working for tips. One day he came home and said, "Hey, Dad, I'm quitting that job at Stan's." And I said, "Well, why are you doing that?" And he says, "Well, I went over to the Texaco station, and that guy says, I won't just work for tips. He'll give me a salary in addition to it. And I said, well, there's no way you're leaving that job. You're going to have to work it out with Stan and figure out a better deal. He got a better deal. He told me, and all of a sudden Stan put him on the payroll for $3.25 an hour.
Ever the achiever, he embarked on a new career path at New York Life.
He's such an unbelievable businessman because he's focused all the time.
Since 2017, Stan and I have been business partners, so definitely know each other, at a deeper level in the last several years.
I know he's been one of the top salesmen for New York Life for several years.
Has dedicated his knowledge, to honing his skills with professional designations. Our clients are some of our best friends.
He's probably one of the most solid, honest, and conscientious people I've ever met.
What really comes across, especially to anybody he's dealing with, is his honesty, his integrity.
He's very skilled in his trade and his service we provide.
He's the unsung hero to veterans, Ace High School, and his hometown of Colusa. Stan's philosophy is always professionalism, honesty, and willingness to share.
And I know Stan has also spent a lot of time with veterans organizations, teaching them how to handle their finances.
I've heard the stories, but I didn't realize until he returned from honor flight. He told me that when they went through the airport in Baltimore, they were welcomed. It was announced that, these veterans were coming through and people were cheering for him.
I think it was Big Brothers, Big Sisters. Storage got taken from the parking lot up on North McCarran, I believe. And, the next thing you know, Big Brothers, Big Sisters have a brand new, cargo storage up there that Stan, took care of himself.
He's a big supporter of Ace High School.
I was a student at Ace High School. Junior, senior years, Stan came in to give a presentation of going into the workforce, going into college, giving different options, kind of life lessons.
Just a great mentor and certainly a great leader in the community.
The biggest thing that stands out to me was his saying of, don't wait for your ship to come in, swim out to it.
He tries to help anybody in need. And like I say, his focus is really kids and veterans.
Professionalism, honesty, a mentor.
Congratulations, Stan. Certainly you deserve this award.
Stan, congratulations. It's been a great pleasure working with you and continue to work with you.
Congratulations, Mr. Goodin. You deserve this award, and thank you so much for all of your inspiration in my life.
Stan, congratulations on this award. No one deserves it more than you do.
Congratulations, Stan.
Stan Goodin, the Sir Award.